Welcome to Southern Splatter Podcast, the Backwoods Horror Experience. I'm Josh Lovett.
I'm Caleb Walker.
And today we have a matchup for you, Mr. Daniel, the Candyman, versus Samara from The Ring.
You gonna watch the tape or say the name?
You know, but say my name, motherfucker. That just sounds disturbing.
I mean, yeah, you know.
Say my name, Caleb.
There's an aggression to it.
So before we get into it, we cover the kill counts, we cover the killer analysis, and we cover like box office and impact and all that good stuff. But I'm going to start this off with a question, okay, for the audience. If you had to choose, would you risk saying Candyman's name 5 times, or would you watch a cursed tape to escape Samara's wrath? Which would you trust your chances with?
The only one you get a chance with is The Ring. Like, you can make the copy and you can pass it on. But like Candyman, you can't be like, oh, whoa, hold up, man. Like, stop. It's like, oh, okay, sorry. My bad, guys. I won't kill you.
But the tape kind of reminds me of an STD.
It is. It's very It Follows.
So, oh, wow. So you're engaging in sexual activity, passing the curse. I remember that movie instead of watching it.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, you gotta be a hoe, man.
That's what the overlying theme of this fucking genre is. You know what I mean?
Hoish material. You want to survive in a horror movie, you have to be a hoe. But no, so the Candyman franchise, of course, if you didn't know, has seen multiple films released over the years, with each installment building upon the original mythology,
Yeah, honestly, I still haven't seen 2 or 3.
And for the people that have seen 2 and 3, I vaguely remember it. I tried to watch through all of them, man. It's tough trying to watch.
Those are hard to find, dude.
You got to pay for them.
Exactly.
We don't like to pay.
Look, man, I'm broke, bro.
For the people out there, please, subscribe to us. Drop some money in the Cash App that we're about to propose to y'all, if y'all don't mind.
You got to fuel our research.
Right, man.
Please.
But let's talk about the Candyman's kill count. 92, 7 kills.
It's respectable.
Right. Followed by Candyman Farewell to the Flesh in 95, which is 11?
Yeah. Yep.
And 16 in Day of the Dead, and 17 kills in Candyman 2021, which they just went crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he kills all those girls in the high school, and that's like 5 right there.
Oh, I remember that.
And then the cops at the end is like another 3 or 4.
That was a lot of killing.
He's slicing them up, man.
Now, do you think it was tasteful and it contributed to the storyline, or is it like, no, because we're in a new generation, we got to kill more. The more kills, the better. The more blood, the better. The more gore, the better.
I mean, yes. Like, I don't know. They definitely worked for the story too. But like, it could have been like one person each time. But, a group is a bit more shocking.
It's kind of like Texas Chainsaw when we talked about it. That bus scene in the new one, it racked up all the kills over the years. Just that one bus scene. Like, he just went to town.
What was it? Fish in a barrel, man.
It was like easy. It was like, you know what? Throughout the years, we're going to rack up the kill counts in this one scene.
Yeah. Just one giant set piece.
While everybody's holding their phones looking dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be jumping out the window. But besides that, it had a total of 51 kills. Now, let's talk about The Ring, Miss Samara.
Yeah.
Based on the Japanese film Ringu, has a smaller body count, you state, but still makes an impact through its eerie supernatural occurrences.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't count any of the Japanese ones because there's like 8 of them and that just didn't seem fair. But if you do count those, then yeah, I mean, the count would be much higher.
So for the people out there, if you've seen all the Japanese versions of The Ring, just kind of put in the comments on how you feel after this episode. Add to the kill counts. Let us understand.
Yeah, like, I'm curious, like, at what point does it change characters? You know what I mean? because the first two follow the same lady
Hmm.
in the American ones. So is it like that, or is it just completely different?
Well, I know the second one, I think they call it Spiral. Ringu is Ringu then Spiral.
Or one of them people didn't like, so they were like, no, no, not that one.
That was the Spiral one. I believe that was based on like books, journals.
Yeah, they're all based off that one book, I believe.
Well, see, I think in the second one,
Mm.
the more research you done on her, the powerful she got. That was
Okay.
that was kind of like watching the tape. Correct me if I'm wrong for the audience members out there, but I know that wasn't accepted, and the American version actually dominated when it came to the sequel. It
Mm.
was way better, based on a couple of reviews on YouTube I was reading.
Yeah, it's definitely got a Babadook vibe. You know what I mean? It's got that single mother like parent thing going on,
Which,
which is kind of strange. I wasn't sure where they were going to go with that, but
for some odd reason, I thought that was his aunt.
I did too, because he like calls her by her first name in the first movie or some shit. But like, no, it's his kid or her kid.
It's so weird. It's like, can you imagine calling your mother by her first name?
Yeah, it'd be weird.
It would be weird.
I mean, I can understand if they like didn't meet until they were adults or some shit like that. But like from a child, yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like, my mom's name is Jesusa.
Mm.
I'm like, hey, Susa, can you give me like some food?
Mm.
It's like, you need to call me mom.
Who's that? I don't respond to that name.
Like, why is it so not weird for the mother to call you Caleb,
Mm.
my mother to call me Josh, but then if I call my mother by her first name, it just feels so odd.
Mm.
That's so weird. Why?
Because you can have more kids, but there's usually only one mom or one dad. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You couldn't just be like son one, son two. You know what I mean?
What about the Octomom?
I mean, did they name their kids numbers?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like just to differentiate.
Number one, whatever your name is, come over here. Number three over there.
I mean, fuck, my mom still calls me by my brother's name.
My
You know what I mean?
dad,
Like,
he
they'll say the
does.
first half, then like, oh shit, no, the other one.
See, but my dad, he calls me, and Johnny sometimes calls me
Yeah.
Guapo.
Really?
How did that work?
Yeah.
He's like, Guapo, he was born after me.
Yeah.
Guapo, I mean Josh. I remember, I was like, how does that
I
happen?
mean, I guess to some degree, he took care of both of y'all as babies. You know what I mean?
That's true. Shout out to Johnny for taking care of me. So, like The Ring, the first one in the American version
Yeah.
had 10 kills, followed by Ring 2, which had 7, or no, 3. And then the Rings had 7,
Yeah.
totaling out to 20 kills.
Yeah. Keeping it small on the side.
Hmm.
I mean, like I say, the second one takes that like family drama turn, and then Rings like once you get into the story, like it's really just the main girl and her boyfriend going around.
Hmm.
Because like they go to the like place where she was born or where the mom was born or some shit.
Hmm.
Because she's getting her video has extra stuff in it. So they've used that to like follow the trail to whatever this little village is. And that's where the tape was made.
But isn't it funny that the tape has no type of address to it, like how it was made? I know they say it was made somewhere. It was weird, but
That's what I was saying. That third one, she goes to the house and you see the wall and it's got the spot on the wall where the mirror used to be.
that's right. That's right.
Oh, okay, yeah, you know.
Oh man, that's crazy because when I think about that, during that time,
Mhm.
I guess when Rings came along, who uploaded it? Because that's conversion. You had to convert that for it
Mhm.
to be uploaded, right?
So, fuck. The guy that dies on the plane,
Mm-hmm.
it cuts to like a yard sale, and the professor at the college buys the tape,
Right.
and that's where it goes. And he is the one that digitizes it and starts the whole study of it.
You asshole.
Yeah, it's the motherfucking dude from Big Bang Theory.
What an asshole. Big bang my ass. So, like, before we move on, man, to talk about the analysis part, like, once again, if you had to choose, would you risk saying Candyman's name based on these kill counts we went over 5 times, or would you watch a cursed tape to escape Samara's wrath? Choose your fate.
Do do you know that you can copy it to get out of it?
Hmm.
You know, because that would greatly affect whether or not I would watch the tape.
Now, does it help with, well, no, I can't ask you that because rings situation, because in the first and the second one, right? It's
Mm,
always, hey, Caleb, you go watch it. I'll be back. But it's
mm.
never a group of people until Rings came along to where you saw it can affect them all as a whole, right?
Yeah, but I think they were still watching it individually.
See?
Cause like the girl from the first one didn't watch the tape, but she's there when Samara shows up. So like she didn't die, but she's just all fucked up. So like if you don't watch the tape, then you don't. What was it in the second one? Yeah, because the girl covers her face.
Mm-hmm.
Like as long as you don't physically watch it, it won't affect you.
Shout out to Ryan Merriman, who tried to be an asshole again. Yeah, he played in Final Destination.
Mm.
Remember? And I just remember he's like, "Did you watch Emily? Watch your damn tape." I'd be like, "Okay, you're giving me weird vibes, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what is it with this tape?" So let's talk about the killer analysis. So with Candyman, you talked about his motivation as
Yes.
well, and we both researched it together. Candyman's desire is to remain immortal. It's kind of
Yeah.
like Michael Myers.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a big thing with like spirits in general that like attention is what keeps them alive. You know what I mean?
Kind of like Jason too.
Mm.
You keep fucking going to his lake.
Yeah. Like if people don't pay attention, then it just fades away.
Mm. See, and that's like Ash with the cabin. He can't. I never understood that either. I hate to jump off, but in Evil Dead 2, he like went back to the cabin.
I thought he was still there at the cabin. I thought he never left.
Oh, he didn't? Because I know the second one he ended up in the Army of Darkness, that era, but
Well, yeah, but I thought the second one starts and he's still there.
I thought he led the girl, his new girlfriend over there. It shows him crossing the bridge and shit.
Yeah, fuck. So they could just completely ignore the first one?
That's what I'm saying. Who does that? Like, we barely
Actually,
made it out. Like,
fuck, now I gotta watch it again, man.
well, with that being said, so of course, Candyman, his legacy, his legend is rooted, I'm gonna say off of Bloody Mary,
Mm.
kind of that whole
Yeah,
concept,
for sure.
but is deeply rooted in the themes of racial injustice and urban folklore,
Mm.
which all this occurred they said in Chicago. Right?
Yeah, so was it I think the movie added all that. I don't think the book had it as much because I want to
Mm.
say the book is set in like London or some shit.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
It's like it's unique to the film for them to set it in Chicago.
Because of the racial injustice during
Yeah.
that time. See, that's crazy. So his key traits we have is a hook hand, a haunting legend, say his name, of course, 5 times in the mirror.
Mm. Like that's the ritual, you know.
Shout out to the people that have done that and lived to tell it.
Tempting fate.
The swarms of bees often accompanying him, adding to his terrifying nature. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was just kind of a strange way to make everything kind of darker, you know.
And the crazy thing is, he did pay. Well, in the contract, he requested $1,000 per bee that stings him.
Yeah.
He got stung 23 times, which is $23,000. Would you get stung for $23,000?
I mean, in one day, that would fucking suck. But like over a week or so, that wouldn't be that bad, you know?
Mm.
It all depends on, you know what I mean? Like, did you ever get like swarmed as a kid where you just got fucked up?
Man, no, bro. I ran.
There's a couple times where I had some yellow jacket encounters where you get like 5 or 6 times, dude.
Oh, man, you've been stung.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah,
I've
dude, that
been,
shit sucks, man. Like
damn.
that would suck. But like I said, 1 or 2 here and there would be fine. But like a lot, yeah, no, I'm good.
Right, right. They were like 12-month-old or 6-month-old bees or something, to
Yeah.
where the stingers barely like hurt.
Oh, okay.
I was reading like they weren't like fully mature.
Yeah, because I mean, a bee fucking dies when it stings somebody. So
It was that's the wasp that keep going.
yeah,
I hate them. Like they just like to mess with you. The wasp is like
they're the assholes of the insect community.
they eat the bees. I didn't know that. So I'm like I look at a wasp and I was like, man, what is your purpose?
Somebody's got to be a dick.
But his backstory, if people didn't know, he was a man who was wronged and became a killer in order to survive in folklore and myth.
Yeah, like his legend kind of brought about his revenge.
I mean, those white people did him wrong.
Yeah, like no one really feels bad for most of the victims in like the Candyman stories,
And,
aside from like the newer ones, you know.
and the add insult to the injury, the little kid licking and said, candy. So he like, tastes like candy, Candyman.
Yeah, dude. Oh, fucking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, dude.
That was him, wasn't it?
It's that song, at least in the new one.
Ah,
That's how it starts.
dang. See, you watch the new one. See, remember, I've
Mm.
told you my beef with the new one, man. It's like, I know Tony Todd at the end, I was like, okay, you saved him. But the thought of you becoming Candyman in the end is like, I don't know. It's kind of like I told you earlier. It plays on like Halloween ends. Like, you can be Michael Myers. And Jason, you could be Jason. And
It's also got that Freddy 2, though. That Nightmare 2, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. With Jesse.
Mm.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to get reborn through him.
Mm.
But I mean, it's not exactly the same, but you can tell there's definitely like little elements of a lot of these.
Damn. So when it comes to, let's move on to Samara then. Like,
Mm.
because, I feel him, man. If I got wrongfully done by those white people, I'm coming back. I'm coming back with a vengeance. I'm slicing and dicing.
You got the hook, bro.
Of course, man. They made the hook for me. I didn't ask for that. They're like, I know what you did last summer, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, like, is there any like reason for the hook? Like, or is it just, you know, we're gonna cut his hand off and put a hook on there? I mean, it kind of feels like you're arming your your
Right.
murderer, you
Yeah,
know?
right. Right. And then you put a mirror in front of his face, Mr. Daniel Robitaille, I think is his name,
Mm.
and saying, Candyman. It's like, so the girl he was messing with, having jungle fever with, like, she will never see you pretty. This is how she's going to always remember you.
Mm.
It's like, damn it. All right. Like, but let's talk about Samara now, because Samara's motive is primarily revenge. It's like she just doesn't like you.
Yeah, she's just an angry little kid. I mean, I get it. She's mad at the parents for, you know, killing her, but it, you know, it's not as projected. You know what I mean?
Well, Daddy loved the horses, though. I would too if you were that evil. I'd be like, at least the horses, like they don't act like you. They're not trying to kill me.
Mm.
You actually tried to use a horse on a boat to try to kill that woman.
Yeah.
So, like, we look at her like she seeks to punish those who come in contact with the cursed videotape by sending them to an early death. Her actions are driven by the trauma of her death and abandonment.
I mean, it's tied to it because of like the videotape and her POV.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
But like, if it wasn't in the video, you know, I think it would be a little different, but it ties it together that way. That's how you experience her torment.
Now,
And then she gives it right back.
the father shot the video? Who shot the video?
Like this weird like town. They're like got this kind of religious thing going on. And her dad, like, fuck, I don't quite remember. It's kind of culty, you know what I mean?
Right, right. I do agree. Because if anybody, we need to blame the motherfucker who was holding the camera. We need to get hit
Yeah.
off him. Like, don't off me. Like, I just remember watching the movie Faster with The Rock,
Mhm.
and the dude that was holding the camera, he says, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you." Oh, he had to die too. Like, stop killing Samara. Stop killing innocent people. We're trying to relate to you, observe the video, understand it, what makes it scary, and understand your pain. But then when we try to understand you, you still want to kill us. Why?
Yeah, I mean, you got the whole part where, like, she picks her up out of the well and shit, and she's all like, "Oh, you freed my soul." And now she's still gonna kill the other dude.
And it's crazy because in my mind, I'm wondering how she really kills you because all the victims have had heart attacks.
Mhm.
Most of them, she does. That's how she kills you. She
Maybe
just
she scares you to death.
interesting. Because in the second one, it's crazy with Rachel,
Mhm.
an American one. Like you see behind her, she became part of the TV screen. You saw
Yeah.
the glitching and the static and all that. And to me, it's like she brings you into tape, and then you see the images, right? It's very like
Mhm.
shocking, right? Just looking
Yeah, it's meant to be very off-putting.
in the ring itself, right? Because that's the well halfway open,
Yeah.
which they says has some connection with the DreamWorks. When the guy's fishing at the beginning of
Oh,
the
yeah.
look, now you're not gonna see DreamWorks right.
Yeah, 'cause it's a little half moon.
Exactly. So my question is, out of all the DreamWorks movies you have seen, how many times have we watched the cursed tape then? Because the DreamWorks that the logo is like constantly in every movie and I've seen.
I mean, it must not be a week because we ain't dead yet, so
7 years.
No, it's been more than 7 years.
Mm.
70 years. Oh,
I'll probably be
no.
dead by
Yeah,
by
so that's
some
fine.
yeah.
That's actually pretty good, you know what I mean?
Right, right. With the shit that's going on today, yeah. So, like, I was reading some interesting aesthetics to that, right?
Mm,
So, the movie itself, because we're both film nerds, right? It was shot. It was mainly all shot in green. If you pay attention to it, it's more green than the
that
Matrix.
that makes a lot of sense, dude. That whole yeah, it just looks weird, the whole thing.
You got to think about it, right? So they said it was shot more in green than the Matrix,
Mm,
which and all on let me add to this. They also say that the movie to make it more off-putting, there's no shadows from the characters. If you look at all the characters, the lighting
mhm,
was fully lit
yeah. Huh,
to make it look
I
flat,
didn't notice.
make it look flat. Because that is off-putting. You know, when we were in film, we did like cinematic lighting, like dramatic,
Oh, yeah, you
wonderful.
don't want those shadows, man.
Right. But in horror, we can kind of, it helps. And that's crazy because when you thought of a horror movie, you think of intense shadows.
Mm,
But in this one, it was like one lit.
yeah, it's very like a hospital.
Yeah. That's off-putting. It's like we
Mm,
were in the television.
yeah, it's got that just sickly tint to it.
Mm. Yeah.
It's always raining too, at least it feels like it's always raining.
Right. And that's what they were saying is that it had a lot of how can you say it? Iconography or something, I believe, with the horses in the beginning
Mm,
and the rain itself. It's the Japanese maple tree,
mm,
which if you think about like the fruit being grown off of it or the plant that grows off of them,
mm.
it's called Samara.
Oh, okay.
So that's why when she's burning, I was reading when she's burning the tree, it's like it's kind of crazy that it'd be a Japanese maple tree, and then the berries or whatever's on the tree is called Samara,
Yeah,
which is the concept of that's how they came up with the name, like for the characters or whatever.
yeah,
It's
that's
pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty,
Everything ties together, man.
yeah, all the horses and all that, like,
Mm,
and it just got me like just boggled with the whole lighting scenario because
mm.
that is crazy. With horror, you think of shadows, something coming out from the dark.
Yeah,
But when everything's fully lit, it's kinda like, Midsummer. See how
yeah.
off-putting that was? But was it really them coming out the shadows, or was the horror in the daylight? It was like, "Oh, shit, y'all are really doing this, and I can see this," like
Like a kinda frantic because like, our circadian rhythm needs the light to go down, like, that's how we know to sleep.
Mm.
So if light's not going away, then our body doesn't know what to do. That's why this shit in Alaska fucks with people, where the sun doesn't come out for like a month.
Canada's like that too.
Mm,
He says, well, the guy that does my cryo, he's from Canada, and he says at 2 p.m. it's already dark.
fuck that, dude.
Can you imagine?
I mean, I can because when it gets dark at 4:30 here, like as soon as I leave work, like it's the daylight hours I spend inside, you know?
Mm. But yeah, so besides her long dark hair and pale decayed skin, ooh, that's so
Mm.
sexy. Not just kidding. Like my lady, she man, last night she had the white dress and then had the little braid back here. Looked kind of
Mhm.
old, like the old timey
Yeah,
look. And it was crazy because she's like, I can't go to sleep because it was on Pluto or Tubi, one of
yeah.
those. And it just kept replaying. And she just heard this wow, 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 waking up to like, and I was like, she's
Yeah.
I'm having nightmares from this. Because she don't like horror movies like that.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. And she was dressed like that, like a person in the horror movie, like she dressed like the girl in The Conjuring with the long white dress and just this shit. Like, so the cryptic videotape that contains an evil supernatural force, her victim faces are contorted in horror before death.
Yeah, they always got that, like, that's the shocking, part of the first one where they finally show it, it's like, boom.
Bro, personal story to add to that, when that happened, man, sometimes I have to say fuck Johnny for this, but I love him to death. I love him, he's my brother. So when that happened, my brother knew, I guess, can see that scene was gonna happen.
Mm.
This motherfucker grabbed my ankle from under the couch. Dude, that I'll never forget. He said, like when the
Yeah.
bastard.
Fucking got you, bro, got you good.
He's a horror junkie too. Because he's watched all them. That's how I got to watch all
Mm,
them because he had all these movies, right?
yeah.
Um, I had that face pretty much when he did that. So like her,
Like, I mean, what, that you been, what, like 14?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, we was in DC at the time, and then he had roommates and shit, and they all were into
Yeah.
that. Like, and then he just scared his little brother. But like, so her tragic story involves being killed by her mother, dropped in the well like Charlie Chaplin, but unlike Candyman, Samara releases the pain she causes, right?
Mm.
So the question before we move on, which do you think is more terrifying? A killer who wants to live forever or one who finds satisfaction in making others suffer?
I mean, I think the live for everyone would be my choice because they're just gonna kill you, they're not gonna torture you.
Hmm.
There's a difference between dying and then dying slow.
So with Samara, she is kind of like the Firefly family.
Mm.
She gets some type of excitement.
I think it's kinda like Freddy, you know what I mean? In
Mm,
the remake where he's, like, saying, like, it takes this amount of time for your brain to die, but it's this amount of time in here, So he's, like,
mm.
he's gonna die a lot slower than he was hoped for.
Yeah, that would suck. Yeah, Samara, I think, yeah, she would be more terrifying. But although I'm gonna state this, Candyman's kills were brutal.
Oh, yeah.
So like, imagine, and he killed them all, like
Mm,
especially in the new one, all in one setting.
yeah.
That would be quite scary because if I got to live through all that because
Mm,
I wasn't seen in the mirror, dude, that would be just as traumatic as like actually dying. Like, I mean, I'm suffering too
mm.
because now I don't want to look in the mirror, so I'll never know if I look pretty or never know.
Gotta vampire your way through life.
Fuck all that, man.
Yeah, dude, like, I really like there's a lot of cool use of mirrors in the new one.
Oh yeah, the art. I
Yeah.
love that one. Now, I wasn't very fond of just the flow of the
Mm,
film, but the aesthetics, the visual
mm.
aesthetics were very pleasing to me.
Yeah, like the girl drops the little makeup mirror in the bathroom and
Mm,
she sees the people getting killed that way.
that's dope.
Like
Yeah.
the bee like comes out of it or goes into it or something.
And the overall, they had an art show. The art
Mhm.
show, like the art,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that was shit was crazy with the mirrors, how she
Mm.
so and then it had the whole I love the little puppet scene where it was telling the story.
Yeah. What I forget what the name of those are, but those are super cool. Like the little shadow things.
Yeah, see, so visually, it was the flow of the story for the 2012 one for me, I believe, or was it 2022?
21.
2021. Okay, yeah, yeah. Thank you for
Right
correcting.
numbers, wrong order.
All right. um, yeah, it was a flow for me. I
Mm,
wasn't because maybe if I didn't see the first Candyman,
mm.
my expectations wouldn't have that type of flow in my head. It would
Yeah, I
be
feel
like,
that.
and sometimes I just want to watch a slash. I want to see a brother slash sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It was cool because shout out to Tony Todd. During that time, there weren't many black people or brothers actually involving themselves in the horror
Mm.
industry, like at that level. Like Tony Todd could literally host a horror event
Oh, yeah.
and get the respect.
Mm.
He wasn't like, Tales from the Hood. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Tales from the Hood, but he is an iconic legend.
Oh,
Rest
yeah,
in peace his soul, man. Like,
for sure.
you know what I'm saying? And so we all can agree with that. So like moving on, let's talk about the box office and impact, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the question I have for this one, before we jump into the numbers and stats, right?
Mhm.
With Candyman turning into a cult classic on a modest budget and The Ring dominating at the box office, okay?
Mhm.
Which do you think really shaped horror? Candyman's cultural depth or The Ring's global success?
I feel like they both made their marks just in different ways. Like horror was changed by both of them,
hmm
but just in, like I said, just in different ways.
I think culturally and racially, it was changed.
Oh, yeah.
It was changed definitely because like Candyman's up there with Freddy Krueger
Mhm.
and Jason and Hellraiser. It was
Yeah.
Clive Barker,
Mhm.
right? So like they said that Candyman had what's their budget of 8 to 9 million, and
Which in 1992 is a lot.
that is a lot of money. In 2002, The Ring had a $48 million budget. So you could do a lot more, I feel. Don't get me wrong, Candyman could stand strong, but technology advanced during The Ring.
Oh, yeah.
So that's to me kind of unfair if we try
Which, I
to
mean, the
compare the
Candyman
two.
really does not rely on special effects. You know what I mean? There's not really a lot of crazy shit about it.
Mm.
You know
Bec-
what I mean? There's no blood coming out of the fucking bed and shit. Like, there's nothing insane about it.
mm. Yeah, because if you think about like, all right, they both had their cultural relevance, right?
Mm,
Candyman deals with themes of racism and urban decay,
mhm.
gentrification, stuff
Yep.
like that, and which is relatable, especially in the United States and everywhere else.
I mean, fuck, it's been 32 years
And
and it's
it's
still still
occurring, right?
relevant. Yeah.
Right. And then same with The Ring, though. The Ring was Japanese horror because you had The
Mm,
Grudge, you had all these other ones coming in
yeah.
to Western audiences.
Even
It
just ghost shit in general, you know what I mean? It made that a lot more popular.
and it also made the long black hair
Mm.
with the white dress popular.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's creepy. I could see a girl in the streets dressed like that and I would run. Like literally, like
Mm.
it's like, why? It's like, dude, like a long black hair, white dress, head turned down. I'm not
Yeah.
waiting for her to turn her head up.
Yeah,
Like
you're about to get stabbed for sure.
no chances. It's like
No.
so like one, like I said, paved the way for Western culture to introduce Japanese horror.
Yeah, definitely brought a lot of supernatural elements that has a much more rich history in Japan than it does in America. But now it's kind of like been translated a little bit.
Mm,
Because I mean, a lot of people have grown up on anime and have either consciously or unconsciously learned about a lot of Japanese folklore.
mm. That makes sense. Because
Like, there's a lot of stuff about ghosts and spirits and shit.
yeah. So do you feel if Candyman did have a higher budget,
Mhm.
like The Ring, do you feel that it would have improved its chances on making a bigger mark? Because think about it. Candyman really isn't based on practical effect or
Mhm.
special effects, right? It's mostly practical. But like, I think of Blair Witch Project.
Mhm.
Although it was on small budget, and then later on it got to you saw the difference. The new Blair Witch was kind of scary.
Mm.
When you actually got to see the witch and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
see, it was scary. It was, and now I wasn't fond of the Book of Shadows. I didn't like that too much. It
Which
was
one was that one?
the one where they go and it's a bunch of filmmakers and the dude ended up killing all his friends. It's the second one. It's like you don't get to see the Blair Witch. It's the girl. She's like she does like some my bad, like some Evil Dead stuff. Like
Yeah.
like
I don't remember that one too much, honestly.
it wasn't great. That's why.
Yeah.
Like, but then the new one where he flew the drone
Yeah.
and shit. That one,
cool.
yeah, when she was getting chased or he was like going through and you saw the door and shit and you saw the Blair Witch for the first time.
Oh yeah.
I like that. But I think with Candyman, I mean, aesthetically, especially the new one showed out. The new one really showed out on the visual aspect. That's what I'm saying. If the new one would have had the same visual aspect in this version that was released in 92, would that have been like the most powerful horror movement based on cultural influence and visual aesthetic together? The new version of the visual aesthetics mixed in with the cultural impact of the old one. Like you put them together, would that have been the most powerful movie? Almost would it have been Oscar, because Tony Todd did a great role in.
Yeah, I think it could have been. Like I think they tried to do that. They just didn't quite, hit the mark.
Clive Barker, like Hellraiser, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I love Hellraiser. That's my dude. But compared to Wes Craven and John Carpenter, like Clive Barker, his books were better, I've heard.
Yeah.
Than his filmmaking or his visual aspect of the books.
Yeah, but I mean, did he even have anything to do with the movie, or did they just base it off his story?
Kind of like they did with Stephen King.
Yeah.
And now today, R.L. Stein, which is wonderful. Like I told you, that new Goosebumps.
Yeah. They're making another Fear Street, I believe, too.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I think so.
That whole trilogy was nice.
Oh, yeah.
You got me on that.
It's like Netflix shit.
Yeah, see, Netflix. Should Netflix be just horror movies? Because I'm starting to believe like when it comes to horror and drama movies, like, or suspense, like Squid Games, like stuff like that should be shown on Netflix. Between horror and Squid Games.
They know what people watch, so they're going to give more of that. So it really just depends on who's watching, Like they ain't ever going to do something that they think might lose money.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So let's move on to the segment called Fun Facts, So before I start this, let me ask this question for you and the audience, okay? Would you rather face Candyman, whose actor literally lets bees crawl in his mouth for authenticity, or Samara, whose eerie backwards crawl still haunts us today? Which one's dedication to their craft is more terrifying?
I mean, I'm going to have to go with the bees, honestly.
Of course, see, I'm not trying to get stung. Like you've gotten stung. And it's like, can you imagine them rolling out your mouth, bro?
Yeah, fuck all that.
That's some fear factor shit.
Like on the tongue or some shit. No.
He did wear a mouthpiece.
Yeah, he did.
To protect and everything. So that's what they said. So it's crazy because thinking about that scene where he kisses Virginia Madsen, you put through a dental dam was used for, a dental dam was used for safety.
Yeah, to keep him from going down his throat and shit.
Oh, man. Can you imagine? Oh, man, kissing a girl like that, bro? And she's just like, all right, we're going to do this scene. I'm going to have a bunch of bees in my mouth.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to enjoy that.
How much money, Caleb?
Say that out loud.
How much money for you to do something like that?
Shit, not that much, bro. I mean, come on now.
It's like, they'll pay off the house. They'll pay off, like, your medical bills for life. From that point on, but you have to do the scene.
Oh, shit, yeah, dude.
Okay, so you're good. So the house be paid off and medical for life.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'd do it for like $5,000, man. What are you talking about?
Everybody has a price. So would you have done 1,000 per bee?
Yeah, that's a reasonable number.
Back in the day, right? So it's like, damn, sting me, but don't sting me. So I think I got stung 55 times. No, you got stung 20 times.
Yeah, I gotta document all your stings.
That'd be fucking hard.
I'm sure there was somebody on set that like that was their job.
All right, who stung me? Who did it? Who did it now?
The counter of the bee stings.
So not only did the 2021, let's throw this out here, Candyman uh, was directed by Nia DaCosta, produced by Jordan Peele.
Mhm.
Shout out to him. She was the first Black woman to direct a film that debuted at number one at the U.S. box office.
Mhm.
That's impressive
Oh, yeah.
because that Jordan Peele is impressive. Like to take and remake something, especially of Clive Barker.
Mhm.
It's like they tried to remake the Hellraiser with him.
Yeah, they didn't try hard enough.
But this one, you felt it outdone that rendition of the Hellraiser. This new,
Yeah, they definitely put more effort into this one. Like the Hellraiser, I think was always going to be a Hulu movie.
Mm.
So, I mean, it was pretty good, but like I don't think it really got top tier like treatment from anything.
Mm.
But like I think people went into Candyman trying to make something good, something that would have an impact.
That makes sense. Hmm. So what about Samara from The Ring? DeVay Chase? I hope I'm saying her name right.
Yeah, something like that.
So she filmed her creepy movements backwards. When played in reverse, this created the haunting, unnatural effect that made Samara's appearance so terrifying.
Mm.
Like, we talked about this, like from an editing standpoint,
Yeah.
like shooting anything backwards and then reversing it, fast forwarding it, looks crazy.
Yeah, it just when you look at it, it it feels unnatural. Like, like when you see something, you're just like, wait, that's not right.
Right. So let me ask you something. I'm curious to know what frame rate it was shot at, the way she moves.
Yeah. I mean, it was film. It's 2002. Like, ain't no digital shit, man.
And that's what I'm saying. So imagine if you filmed it backwards,
Mm.
turned the frame rate to 120 or 240 if you can get it up that high, right?
Mm.
Which looks very unnatural. Turn the shutter speed at like 1 and 2/50th at that.
Mm.
With enough lighting, how would that look? And then when you go to manipulate it, like just naturally looking at it, it would look off. But then you reverse it and you speed it up. Man, that would like
Yeah, dude.
something serious, ain't it? It makes me want to try
I
it
say,
though.
yeah, we should see what happens.
See, we're gonna try that. Like right now, we're filming this at 1/30th. So, it looks natural. Looks natural TV.
It looks natural internet. Let's say that.
Right. So, but we're gonna try that. So not only do we talk about like horror movies, we actually shoot horror films and we like to try new editing techniques. And we will try that. If y'all want to, fund the project, feel free to throw your tips and throw your money towards us because we will do it. We will do it.
We'll do weird shit with your money.
Yes. Shout out to all the people watching this. We're about to start our new streaming platform for video games. We will be streaming horror games, Resident Evil, Silent Hills, Fatal Frames. We can get them.
Oh, dude, we might try out that thing.
Mm.
That looks dope, dude. The Xbox one that they just re-released.
Oh, yep. Now, did you ever play Dead Space?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have the third one.
It's the didn't they have a remake?
I think they did like a remaster or some shit.
They said that shit is crazy.
Hell yeah.
It reminds you of one of your favorite movies.
Event Horizon, yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
That's like Event Horizon right there.
Mm. Or you ever seen Pandorum?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the dude that's my boy that played in X-Men with the wings.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't think of his name.
He played in a Disney show too, or Nickelodeon show, one of them. But yeah, so The Ring, of course, we know helped introduce Western audiences. Samara's origin draws an interesting fact from the Japanese folklore of Okiku, a ghost story about a maid thrown into a well who becomes a vengeful spirit.
Mm. Yeah, like I said, there's all kinds of shit like that in like Japanese stories that we may or may not get as a reference.
Mm.
At least in 2002, I'd say now a lot more people would get it. You know what I mean? Or have more of a understanding.
Would you go to the well that the movie was based on?
I mean, would you go to the suicide forest?
Mm. I don't know. I'm a thrill seeker. I don't know, man. Like I know that's very not common of brothers to be, but I would do it. Like I still want to go to Silent Glen, which is like Silent Hill
Mm,
in Centralia, Pennsylvania, I believe.
yeah.
I still want to go there, but I could see myself doing that though.
Just seeing what happens.
Yeah, man, test the waters. I mean, I got high faith, so that's all I can go for. But
Hope for the best.
right, so here's what threw me off. So Samara was the voice of Lilo.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't never watch that the same.
Lilo's gonna die in 7 days,
Days.
man.
Stitch, you mean 7 days, Stitch.
Yeah.
No wonder he was grumpy and shit. 7 days, Stitch.
We should get some sort of crossover made.
Like a spoof?
Samara and Stitch.
Samara and Stitch is like 7 days.
Yeah.
No wonder he's so pissed. That's interesting. See, like it just shows you the versatility of actors back in the day too, man. They can that would throw me off. It was like, yo, like you were the voice of like Samara, or Samara was the voice of Lilo, and Lilo and Stitch is still relevant to this day. Like you could go to the mall and still find them too. And then now I think like
they're doing some sort of remake of it, I believe.
Like a live.
I want to say I've seen that. I don't know if it's true, but I've definitely seen it on the internet.
Man. So, man, we could talk about this all day, bro, but let's go ahead and conclude this, man. So,
yeah, let's wrap this motherfucker.
Candyman, we all know, like, let's say this. Candyman is driven by the desire for immortality, which is a tragic backstory rooted in racial injustice with that strong urban legend feel, right? Samara is just driven by vengeance. She's evil. And she needs to continue spreading her curse with a more supernatural, ghostly presence. So, The Ring, yes, it had a larger cultural impact with a higher box office take, but Candyman remains a cult favorite. Not to say The Ring isn't, but Candyman is just that dude. If I see somebody with a cloak and a hook,
it's one of the franchises, you know?
Right. And in the end, who is your favorite? I want to know the audience opinion or the audience's, preference.
Yeah, Candyman and you like The Ring.
The Ring. But, who would you choose in a battle, though?
I mean, I gotta say, personally, I like Candyman better, but in a battle, I'm gonna have to go with Samara. Just because she's meaner. You know what I mean? She's got that more desire to hurt. I think that's gonna win.
Right. I mean, yeah, but I guess how we would summon the two to battle, like we mentioned over the phone.
Yeah.
We would actually like play the tape, but put a mirror in front of the actual tape behind us, and then summon the Candyman. But it's weird because you say you get 7 days, so you got to do that 7 days prior or 6 days.
Well, we just get killed by Candyman, and then 7 days later, Samara and Candyman fight. We can't actually watch it.
Right, because she wants to kill.
Yeah, so we have to do it that way or sacrifice somebody.
Damn it, we got to die. We really have to die then.
Well, somebody's got to die.
Damn it, Emily, watch the damn tape.
Yeah, $1,000 just sit in this room and say this.
Right. So, like, would you rather die in 7 days or would you rather die immediately?
Yeah, you want a hook to the throat or whatever happens to Samara's victims.
Which is still like one of those questions.
I mean, they say the anticipation is a little worse. So, I mean, if you know you're going to die.
And you die. But once again, I'm Josh.
I'm Caleb.
And we are out. Ooh, you got dead, boy. My camera. Did you see that?
You too, man.
Damn, bro. We about to die on scene, man. Tomorrow, Candyman about to kill our camera. Shit.